Hello and welcome to watching Twin Peaks for the first time.
Yes!
And
We did it!
Today we're talking about the revelation that happened in the last episode that we watched. And normally when we talk about this, by the way, if you're just joining us,
don't watch this.
Yeah, this
is your warning.
Spoilers, right? So
if you haven't seen it, go watch it. Try and figure it out.
Every episode, we do a reaction where Mackenzie's watching Twin Peaks for the first time.
Yeah.
So
you don't want to watch it for the first time because then it's no fun.
That's right. So
Exactly.
Big spoiler alert because we were talking about who killed Laura Palmer.
For real this time.
Yes, and if
even though I don't know that, I think some of my theories are too good.
Anyway, so we're going to talk about Mackenzie's theories and reactions.
Yes.
So it's your last warning. If you
get out of here.
If you don't know who killed Laura Palmer, you don't want to watch this video. But if you do know, if you've been watching Twin Peaks already, maybe you've watched even The Return and the movie and every David Lynch film.
We'll get to eventually.
Then you get to find out how Mackenzie did. And if you watched our last episode, you will know that
my rank.
Yeah, so the Mackenzie changed her mind. Now, for a long time, Mackenzie, you were going with...
I love Nadine.
You were going with Nadine. So
I think Nadine should have been the real killer.
So for a long time, your pet theory was that Nadine was the top of the chart. Yeah. Not originally, though.
Not originally,
right?
No.
So originally it was Mrs. Briggs with the scissors.
Oh, yeah.
Just for like 5 minutes, or like a fleeting minute where she's like, why is she on the phone with scissors?
What's she doing with
And then, but more significantly, and I'm very proud of you for this, in this scene when Leland when Leland's a brunette.
Brunette.
When Leland is a brunette.
I love the way you say
a brunette.
Brunette.
When Leland has brown hair, he gets a phone call from the sheriff's office, and
he's like, "Where's the body?"
Yeah, I don't know if he says, "Where's the body?"
Like,
but
oh
he
my
says,
God, she's dead.
He knows when the sheriff. I'm sorry, I'm screwing it up. He's talking on the phone with his wife.
Yeah.
And then the police show up, and when they do, the first thing he says is Laura dead? Is she dead?
Yeah. Is she dead?
Yeah.
Which is not the first question you should be asking, especially if you know your daughter's been involved in a drug ring, which he did know.
Yes. So and so Mackenzie's instinct was like, hey, something's hinky.
Something's wrong.
And so Leland was at the top of the list early on.
Yeah. And
well, he was always in the
he's always in the
top 3 category, with one exception where Bobby bumped him out for a little bit. But that was pretty brief. Yeah. So basically, the more of any of the episodes where Leland was in trouble, like when Leland went to jail, then he dropped down.
Yeah, because I didn't want it to be him. When he's in jail, they should just keep him there. They let the man kill again.
Yeah, that's true. We'll talk about that. So Nadine was on the top of your list.
I love Nadine.
And
I still think she's a viable candidate.
And so was Andy.
Yeah, also a viable candidate.
But the good news for you is that when we got to the previous episode, you finalized your idea and decided that it was Leland.
Yes.
I think in large part because of all the factors that you've been made you suspicious before. But when Mike when Mike is talking about the hotel,
and the age thing and like
so Mackenzie guessed Leland Palmer.
We did it.
And then at the end of this particular episode of Lost Souls, we see this happening. Right?
It's so cool. It's a really cool scene.
It's a very creepy, powerfully done scene, which we'll pick apart at the end of our discussion. Yes. But I just wanted to congratulate you to say that turns out that you
I can't stop doing this though.
And then of course I think part of the intrigue of Twin Peaks from now on is trying to figure out
who shot Dale Cooper.
Well, among other things, going back to Bob, right? It's like, what is Bob and what's going on with Bob and how should we interpret Bob? But we do have other mysteries to solve. Now, so anyway, I have to tell you guys. So I have recorded on my handy dandy phone.
Yes,
I've recorded on my handy dandy phone. Just kind of while Mackenzie was watching it.
Yeah.
And a couple things happened. Yeah. Thing number one that I did a good job recording on. Yeah. Was that I recorded Mackenzie's response to Mr. Tojimura.
Who's that guy? That's like the grandpa. Oh, it's that man. Slap. Oh, hug. The weirdest way. Oh, his kiss. Oh shit! It's gonna be her. It's his wife. Damn, that's some good makeup. I knew it was a fake mustache. God. Yeah, that was cool.
And
did not expect.
Yes, and so.
But I was like, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I also was like, no, they're not gonna do yellow face. That was my main thing.
Because this is back in 1990, so.
That's why I thought it was the other guy.
Yes, so Mackenzie's like guess about who is Mackenzie thought that it was the other, the character that's from Hong Kong.
Yeah, who comes to get Rosie.
Yeah, to get Josie.
Josie.
And so your guess was always male and I think always Asian. So
yeah,
I'll play.
Although at one point I think I went, is it Josie?
Did you?
Have to bleep it out or something.
So anyway, so that reaction on my phone was just normal, and I was just filming it. Yeah. So then something very strange, something very strange happened. Yeah. So when we get to this scene, it's actually this scene where there's music playing, and I know that the giant is going to show up. So you're dancing around. So I'm recording it, and I don't know if I pressed a button or the Black Lodge took over, but the 4-minute clip that I have filming Mackenzie's response to the revelation of who Bob is suddenly went from normal speed to extreme slow motion.
Yeah. Sad boy James. Yeah, he's dead, and you're a little bit responsible. I mean, he did it to himself, but to be fair, he didn't. Meet your dad.
Did you see Cooper getting into the music?
Yeah, it's good.
So it became a 38-minute clip.
It's very
and you hear the slow sound of the music and the slow...
Yeah, and me yelling.
Yes. It was the most David Lynchian thing I've ever filmed. Yeah. It was all a wonderful accident, or was it an accident?
Was it an accident? Well, it wasn't our purpose.
It wasn't. It's not on purpose.
No, I mean like
our purpose.
Yeah, our purpose. It might have been someone else's. Like
somebody else's design may have come into play. So let's talk through this exciting and pivotal episode and get your responses and your interpretations. Yes. So here episode starts off with the boys.
The boys.
The boys, and so there's Andy next to Mike, the one-armed man. So at this point, were you doubting that Andy had anything to do with it? And then they go to the.
I was like, yeah, he's probably not have anything. I was like, Andy's right there.
And so you never had strong suspicions for Benjamin Horne.
Well, he's too much. You know what I mean?
As you said, he's too scummy.
For a second, I was like, they're not going to make him the killer, right? Because that seems like way on the nose. Although I am very proud of Twin Peaks in the fact that they have they kind of made Leland the prime suspect and then never touched on him. Mm-hmm. But he's very much someone you would look into in this case.
It's true, because if there's a murder like this, you look for the relatives,
the people who have known them the longest.
Yeah. And when they're finding her diary and they're saying like, wow, this is like years of abuse, it's like, that's a big a big flashing light.
A friend of Dad's?
Yeah.
Could that be anything?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, here's Nadine. This is what we see her in this episode.
Yeah.
And we watched this little moment a couple times when she smashes the milkshake.
We thought that she actually cut her hand for a second.
Yeah, I thought that was very theatrical. Well, there's a lot of theatrical parts in this. This one's directed by David Lynch, and he does a masterful job. So so now that you know that Nadine, unless there's going to be another twist, but now that you know that Nadine apparently is not the killer of Laura Palmer.
Yeah.
Or Teresa Banks, or Matt. Certainly not Maddie. We know that she didn't kill Maddie.
Yeah, she did not.
So now that you know that she's not the killer, what do you think of her role in this world of Twin Peaks?
She is very interesting, and she's more like the log lady now.
Okay.
But I still feel like there's something sinister about her, but that's just because I really like the line of like she's the killer. So at this point, it's like, yeah, I just like Nadine.
Okay. And speaking of the log lady, so the log lady visits and
sends them to the wrong place.
Says that the owls are at the club. The Roadhouse. The owls are at the Roadhouse.
What's the whole thing like? The owls are not as they seem. Because he gets the ring back. What are the owls?
Did he get the ring back yet? He feels for his ring finger, but I don't know that I thought he felt for the ring finger, but I don't think that he has the ring yet.
I thought that he had the ring.
Yeah.
That's okay, we don't know what the owls are about then yet.
So what's your guess on the owls?
I still want them to be a part of the government. The Vine where all the birds die in 1978.
So they're like mechanical replacements.
Yeah, they're like, well, we don't see them fly.
We see them a lot like hooting and
they just look around.
There's something that's very observational about owls, right? That they are.
Maybe the owls are us.
Whoa. Well, do you think is the so-called giant? Like is he an owl?
Maybe.
If she said the owls are at the road, if the log says,
but here's
that the owls are at the Roadhouse.
They pass when they get to the log house. They look up in a tree and there's an owl there.
So then
that's it.
So that's the owl. Yeah.
And so then they we'll go in.
Yeah.
There's something happening at the Roadhouse.
Is the giant a good presence or a not good presence?
I think he's good, although he seems to be distracting. He's distracting me. I mean, the dream and the giant have just threw me off the trail of Leland Palmer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It distracts from the facts of the case.
Sure. Because he's not showing up and say,
you should
go to the Palmer residence.
Right. You need to save someone's life.
But he does. What's interesting is when we first meet the giant, he says that there's some things that he can't say.
Yeah.
Right? So he's apparently, if we trust the giant, he's limited to what he can say.
Right. Which I do like your parallel between this guy and the elderly man.
Yes, because we see the waiter
at the same time.
At the same time, very, very close to the same time.
Yeah. And the waiter's also limited in what he could say.
Yeah. And he says, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
And so it seems like
if
these two have sort of merged souls,
why not those?
Then it seems like the giant, the old man, might have merged souls.
Mike and
Philip.
Yeah. Mike and Philip.
Okay, so let's talk about this sad moment. This is sad. Brutal. So Maddie is attacked.
She's attacked.
She's punched. Killed.
There's a spotlight. I really like this.
Yeah, it's very it's the use of theatrical elements.
Yeah.
So that is very powerful and disturbing, scary.
Yeah.
At the same time,
the same time I was like, yes, it's the person I thought it was.
So it reveals something, and this moment happens before all of this.
Oh yeah, the white horse.
So Sarah Palmer, Laura's mother, crawls downstairs, and just before she passes out, sees this white horse.
Yeah.
So what is your take on that?
Horse. I think maybe I don't know what the white horse is about. I'm gonna be honest. Okay. I don't know. I liked the white horse. All I could think of during the scene was Bad Horse, the Bad Horse theme from Dr. Horrible's sing-along vlog. So I was like,
Bad horse, bad horse.
It's like, haha, there he goes.
So do you think the horse is the horse bad? Is the horse neutral? Is the
horse is
a hallucination that's not meant to be?
So there's a kind of a through line with Leland Palmer, right? And Bob.
Okay.
They kind of come in this white cleansing form. You know what I mean?
White hair.
He gets his white hair. There's the white spotlight. There's he at some point doesn't he dress in like a white suit? I feel like he does, like episode 5 of season. I don't know, but anyways, it feels like there's something to do with like this bright, clear substance where it's like you can't quite see it, and you can only see it if you're damned. So maybe it's the horse of the damned. I don't know.
So now that we've had this moment where Leland's looking at himself in the mirror, and we see Bob's reflection, and poor Maddie sees Bob in fleeting moments going back and forth between
she keeps
Bob
saying Leland.
and but when she screams, she sees Bob standing there. So how going back to my old question of how is it best to view this? You can obviously look at it different ways, but how do you think it's best to view this right now in terms of symbolism or a supernatural story or psychological? Like, how are you balancing? What are you thinking of? Because you talked about whether or not, like, is he possessed and in control of his ideas? So what do you think?
Now, I don't know if he is in control or if he feels like he's in control.
You're talking about Leland?
Leland.
Okay.
And I think Bob certainly has some type of presence. Now, presence in what form? I don't know. We've been going in kind of a like science fiction kind of form because we see the dreams and we see the giant and everybody's crying when poor Maddie's being killed. And just like visions and stuff like that. We're very focused on that. But my whole issue is if we think like, oh yeah, Leland's possessed and he doesn't want to do these things. He had a lot of opportunities to not do these things. So
when we're not talking about Bob, but we're talking about Leland Palmer,
like,
there's the question of how guilty is he?
Right.
Like how much did he allow this entity, whatever you want to label this?
Yeah, it could be anything.
So and that's the thing, right? Bob could symbolize some type of psychosis, dark desires,
dark feelings,
addiction, like psychological breakdown. When Leland says, "Hey, I saw this guy," and when he shows the
I think that's kind of his last hope.
It's
kind of like, "Hey, help me!" Like he looks like he's like. Remember in that episode, I rank him lower. Because I'm like, he looks like he needs help.
Yes. And it's almost, what's interesting about this is that now this could be sort of Bob / Leland's way of like, this is going to throw them off the trail. But it might be sort of Leland's way of saying, I want to be caught. And certainly, now that I think about it, killing Maddie instead of just letting her leave is a way of recreating the crime against Laura. But also a way of saying, "Well, I'm going to be really reckless now."
Well, because everything is being taken away.
And so it's happened, even though he's the one that's taking it away, right? So it's very self-destructive in a way. Whereas the Laura murder is happening outside of the house, taken to that, to that different part, that location. But he's still leaving clues, right? Now you watch way more crime stuff than I do. If a serial killer is leaving clues, does that mean that they want to be caught, or is it more of like they're toying with? It's
usually,
taunting.
And the funny thing is, like, that's when they get caught. Is when they're like they start leaving clues, but like the Zodiac killer. I mean,
who didn't get caught?
But like,
but so you think that the letter under the fingernail is more of a taunting kind of thing?
And I don't even know if the letters mean anything. I haven't figured out the letter part. To me, it's just like it's probably as random as those numbers that the Major show.
That Major Briggs shows. Like,
it's probably as random as those.
As random as the number of the day from David Lynch's daily podcast?
Probably.
Or vlog? All right.
Oh, I do want to say.
Yes.
I do want to say Leland, I think, in my opinion, Leland, even if the show goes like, oh yeah, Leland's, he's okay, we need to like put him in rehab or something. I think Leland is to blame here. I don't know, because my thing is, Mike got help. I know it's, like, yeah, okay, Mike is turned into a good guy, but this guy, what's his name?
Philip.
Yeah. Philip, he found a way to, like, go to a doctor and get drugs to stop this from happening. Yeah. Like, there are other things.
Let's talk about this. So what is the key difference, right? So if Mike is a character foil of Bob, what's the key difference between Mike and Bob? What's the key difference in their experiences?
That's an interesting question. What do you mean?
Well, why did he stop killing people?
Yeah, well,
he says,
wait, what is
he saw the light of God. Oh no, I think the face of God.
The face of God. He saw the face of God.
So he sees. So he claims that he has this sort of profound spiritual encounter.
Yeah.
Because before that, he was just doing what Bob was doing.
Yeah.
So.
But he also. What is the face of God, and what does that mean to Mike? Because he says he found the face of God when he entered this new vessel.
Yeah, so
it's something to do with the vessel, right?
Well, maybe is.
Oh my God, it's the horse God.
So, I don't think the horse is God, but what I'm saying, like, you know, what we see with the horse is like, wow, you see this profound, weird, powerful image,
right?
And that's this event that becomes the face of God,
right?
Or the face of God could be somebody has a personal epiphany, right? Something that's not a spotlight and a horse or what?
Yeah, well,
an entity
those things
creating
are all around bad things.
Well, it seems like it. So that's the interesting.
That could be the face of God.
So the interesting question is he talking about this unveiling of this spiritual truth?
Yeah.
Or that picks him?
Yeah.
That picks him.
Or is it a choice?
Or is it more of like this choice? Like I had this epiphany.
Yeah.
And I realized.
He chooses to cut off his arm.
That's true.
Mike
because
chooses.
He could have seen.
Like, he could have seen God. Like I'm going to rebel.
If Bob sees the face of God,
what's he going to
do that, or is he not going to?
No matter what the face of God is Bob going to make the choice, or is Leland going to make the choice to separate himself from the people he's harming?
Yeah,
because Leland does have control. We see that Leland, can interact in society and have a successful life and have a job, and has only killed 3 people in the last 40 years. He's doing terrible things.
Yeah. That's the good question. Is Teresa Banks the first victim? Right. That's the first one that they've found that has those things.
Yeah.
And
so is he making a choice to do those things? Like, is Leland giving in?
And also,
he's not seeking help.
Interesting to think about, like, again, going back to Bob as sort of the supernatural entity. Like, what is it? What's in it for Bob?
Right.
Because it's like this long haul, right? Yeah. So is Bob something that is?
It's like you want to wait.
Is he dormant while Leland's doing his lawyer job?
No.
Or is Bob also going like, yeah, we got to get these taxes done? It's like,
where's Bob come in? It just seems like Leland had a lot of opportunities to make better choices.
I agree with that.
I think he should be held accountable. I don't think they should be. At the end of the season,
him being possessed does not give him a pass.
It does not give him a pass.
Let's go on with this. So let's talk about the future of Twin Peaks for Mackenzie. Because you still want to watch it, right?
Yes, I do.
Well, keep watching.
Yeah.
So what do you think is going to happen in the next episode or 2 or 3 in regards to Leland? Because we know who Bob is.
We know who he is. But he said he's got to run.
But Agent Cooper does not know. So what's your prediction? What do you think is going to happen? I'll write it down.
I kind of think that the next episode, there's not going to be much that happens.
Okay.
I think they're going to find the body eventually, but I think...
Where do you think the body will be someplace else besides... Do you think it'll be at the Palmer residence, or...
Is he getting sloppy is the question. Probably near the Palmer residence, if not in the Palmer residence.
Okay.
I think he's getting a lot more sporadic.
Gotcha.
I even think if it's not at the Palmer residence, I think it'll be even closer to someone involved in the investigation. Like somebody finds it alone, like they're going into the building and they're like, "Oh, we're opening up the sheriff's office, and what is that? Oh no!"
Oh wow,
kind of thing. Because I think he wants to be caught.
Do you think that is Leland going? I know you're rooting for Leland.
I am rooting for Leland.
And do you think that's the direction it's going to go?
I think that.
And when do you think that will be? Do you think it will, or do you think it will be resolved by the end of season 2?
I think
it will carry over.
I think it will be resolved by end of season 2. I think that Leland, in some fashion, I think that there's going to be a lot of loose ends, but I think that Leland will be caught before the end of this season.
Okay.
Yeah. I hope. God, if not. And I think there's a possibility that if Leland gets caught, that Bob just might leave. Bob just might go bonk and leave.
He'll just
peace out, and Leland will just break down. Like as soon as Leland's in a jail cell, Bob just gone, and Leland's like, "Oh crap!" Yeah. But I still think he should be punished, even if he was not possessed anymore.
So you would say. So it does make a good defense in a court of law. So like, "Oh, I'm sorry, officer.
Yeah, oh no,
Your Honor, I was possessed by Bob." Okay, so that's an interesting prediction. So you think that if Leland is caught,
yes,
that Bob will take off, and Leland will just
find somebody else.
Do you predict that Leland will remember everything that he was done while Bob was inhabiting him?
Well, as much as I think humanly possible. So I think that there's probably a possibility where he's going to be like, "Where's Laura? What the hell?"
Gotcha.
Kind of thing.
So some gaps.
Yeah. Like, "Oh, where's my wife? What am I doing in here?" And then maybe finally like oh no. It wasn't a dream, or like it probably didn't feel real.
Gotcha.
There's probably also a high that comes with it. Like if Leland is no longer possessed.
Okay, cool.
Nice.
All right, well, we will continue our Twin Peaks journey next time, but you've certainly passed a what's the word? A monument? A milestone. Yes, you certainly passed a milestone.
A death milestone.
It's better to pass a milestone than a gallstone.
That's true.
Or a kidney stone.
Kidney stone. Oh, that'd be awful. Yeah. Yikes.
All right. Well, that's it from us.
Wait. Yes. Who shot our friend Dale Cooper?
Oh well, that has not been resolved. Do you have any changes on that line of thinking?
I still kind of feel like
you said Josie. It was Josie.
But could it have been the woman who dressed up as a Japanese man?
Catherine.
Could it have been Catherine?
Could it have been Catherine?
Maybe. That's my other guess.
So maybe Catherine. So you're trying to figure out like who stands to gain by getting Cooper out of the way. Now, do you think it's possible that it was Leland, since now you know that he was?
No.
Or was Leland accounted for at the hospital?
He was at the hospital because he had to kill somebody there, and he had to stick the thing in the finger.
Gotcha. There's a lot of busy people in Twin Peaks. Hank's going around shooting people.
Yeah, dude. I don't know.
You have to get shot out or shoot people. That's true. Yeah, I think you've got about 15 episodes to go.
Holy crap.
There's 15 more episodes of season 2.
What's even in those? So, oh, no. Like,
we don't even know. Well, that's why a lot of people, like once the mystery is solved.
Well, there's some more mystery.
Then, but once the mystery of Laura Palmer. Once the mystery of Laura Palmer is solved, then a lot of people. She's
like Mario. She's also a plumber.
A lot of people just like click. They turn it off.
Done.
We'll see if the ratings of this show go down.
Will go down probably. Although maybe the Twin Peaks fans out there will want to hear what we have to say.
Well, there are a lot of Twin Peaks fans that, even though I think they love the mystery of Laura Palmer and find out who Bob is, I think they like the whole world, the weirdness of the world.
There's like a couple episodes before we find out Leland's Bob. We go, I think there's something else. Like the story gets really slow, and we're like, there's a guy coming to town. He never came to town.
The
friggin' reporter,
the critic, the travel critic.
He didn't come to town.
There's also who's the partner that they've talked about?
Yeah. Who's the partner? Who's the girl on the radio? I want to know.
Diane.
I want to meet Diane. Anyways.
Maybe all will be revealed.
Wait. Okay. Now, I know that we're not done with Twin Peaks. Yeah. And I know I'm making this longer.
Okay.
But I wanted to know when you were watching it for the first time, what was your theories of who killed Laura Palmer?
Oh, that's a very good question.
Because I know it's probably been a long time since you thought about it.
Unfortunately, I think that some things were spoiled for me.
Oh, no.
Yeah, because I didn't watch it when it was originally airing on, I think, Thursday nights, and then switched to Saturday or Sunday nights. Yeah. So I didn't watch it until the second season started. I think they started to kind of replay things over the summer. So I think I watched a few episodes, and then when it was revealed, even though we didn't have the internet back then, people had kind of talked about it. Water cooler. And so I had heard something in the breeze about like it was Laura's dad that killed her. Yeah. And I didn't know too much about the whole Bob thing. Yeah. So my reaction about that was sort of like fascinated. And so I was kind of watching it more as like a psychological thriller. Yeah. Because I knew, so when things like he showed up with the white, when I watched the episode where he had the white hair, I was like, something's going on.
You already know.
Yeah. So it was more about, what's the nature of Bob? What's that? Yeah. And not really making any guesses because I knew it was Leland. And I also I was just sitting and watching the Bob thing develop and didn't really have guesses. So I was just constantly going like, what's happening? Whoa. Like, so
that's cool.
But once I started watching season 2, then so it was kind of like after the revelation of Laura, kind of where we were getting our parts. Then I started kind of making up theories about like, what does this mean? Stuff like that. So, but we can talk about that later.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I do wish that I had kind of your experience of
like, whoa!
Kind of like not knowing and playing detective. Yeah. That wasn't.
We'll have to find other things. If you have any suggestions.
Yes, if there's something that we can watch for the first time together that you think warrants discussion and maybe some detective work or guesswork or interpretation, please let us know.
Yes.
Until next time, this has been Watching Twin Peaks for the first time.